Welcome to Intramuros.
What is so special about this place, Gigi?
It's a very old piece of Manila and the Philippines. It's a historical site, one of the oldest in the country, and it's a witness of a 400 years old Spanish inhabitants here, or occupation.
Okay, we're in Plaza del Roma and we're about to start our journey through Intramuros.
Yay!
Let's go, Gigi. We are now in front of the Cathedral of Manila, which is a very interesting church in itself. It has withstood earthquakes and more earthquakes and fires and floods and wars. And in total, I think it has been reconstructed 7 times since it was initially built in 1581. And even Pope John Paul II, he came here and he sanctified a person, I think Saint Ruiz is his name, and since then this cathedral has become one of the most visited and one of the most pilgrimed religious sites here in Intramuros. Okay, not bad for a almost 500-year-old cathedral. Very nice. I'm curious to go and see how it is inside and if it's similar to the black church that we have in our own country, because the style is more or less similar.
This is how we also get to see a wedding here in the Philippines.
Yes, because if you have any kind of event, like a christening, like a wedding, like a family event, the Dodo Explorers are gonna be there and ruin your memory since 1988. Yep, this is what we do.
Yay! Intramuros means between the walls, in between the walls. Intra means between and muros means walls in Spanish. So this is one renovated building that has been kept since then, and it has like a specific kind of architecture, a 400 years old Spanish architecture. As you can see, it still has like some letters on it. It's written escuela, which means school in Spanish, and it's actually now the office of the Industrial Advancement Academy of the Philippines. But the style is being kept like back in the days. And guys, as you can see now, Intramuros has turned into quite a vivid neighborhood. It's also more than 400 years old, and the old buildings have made place for the new kind of Philippines life. And a lot of people love to live here, spend time together, eat here together, and hang out after their work, or they just love to roam around and admire the historical artifacts here. You can see here behind me there is a statue of like to honor all the sea men that have been traveling and protecting Philippines and have been willing to leave their homes and live alone on the sea in order to bring more richness and food on the table of their families. So this statue is a reason for them. And inside, what I find really interesting, there's a NBA match going on, or a basketball match, and it's actually basketball is one of the most beloved sports here in Philippines. So it's really interesting. So how many people sit inside and watch the basketball game from inside the Intramuros?
Gigi, this area looks totally different than the areas around Manila. I mean, it's like we have been transported into Europe somehow. Because you have this kind of buildings with huge roofs and including cobblestone on the road, and this kind of old looking buildings and an old church somewhere back there. I mean, you can clearly see the Spanish influence that this city had before. Man, this is so nice.
Hi.
Yes, we are going. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Oh my
Very
goodness,
nice place.
Cobblestones.
Yes.
This feels like South America, maybe?
In a way, or Europe?
Europe.
In a
It
way,
feels like
yeah.
Europe,
This
yeah.
feels like Spain back in the day,
Feels
back
like
in the 1800s. I feel like I'm a conquistador right now, and I'm looking for a ship, and I want to sail around the world and discover America. What about you, Gigi?
You feel like Magellan.
Yeah, not Magellan. I would say rather Marco Polo or something, because he's the explorer and I'm also an explorer, and we like to go get ourselves into trouble.
And you guys watching us, you're also explorers for being here, part of our journey.
Yes.
And we're near Casablanca, and Cabildo, I think, is the name of the street. Really, really pretty. Yo, they have columns. What? Wait a second. Where are we now? Instituto Cervantes. Okay, that's cool. Yo, guys. Cervantes Institute. That's so cool. And they have columns and everything. This looks insane. Where am I? it's like, I don't know, I'm at a loss of words right now. This looks similar to the columns we saw in the Pantheon in Rome, like last summer. This is pretty crazy. Like, it looks kind of insane. Casa Instituto Cervantes. Okay, I think it's a language institute. The more I walk here on the cobblestones, the more I'm like more intrigued by this place. Like, I knew Intramuros has like a Spanish history and ancestry, but seeing this like so close in front of me is like I'm transported back to Spain. This is insane. This place, for example, is called Casa Manila Museum, and it definitely brings me back to a city like in Italy, for example, or like in Venice somewhere. This is pretty insane. We're on the Real Street, and there's a lot of people who want to go now inside the Casa Manila. But look at the sigil, like this is so kind of like specific for European culture, like the sigils and this kind of a history. Like, it's pretty, it's very familiar to us. It's super familiar to us. It's very interesting. And this looks really cool. I love the details of the balconies and the covered spaces down at the floors above. This is pretty interesting. Oh, and another thing I love about this place is the fact that you have English signs everywhere. English translation and explanation. That means that while walking here you will have so many explanations everywhere, and also you have the option to choose a tour guide that will guide you around. The guys are literally waiting at every important kind of historical place, at the corner of every important historical place, and in exchange for a fee they will guide you around, walk with you, or drive you by one of the rickshaws. So this is insane. I feel like back at home. This is so cool.
Your brother, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, let's go find Michael. I love this place. General. This is... Where are we now? Where are we, Michael?
I don't know, but there's a big church and I want to go inside.
What is the name of the church?
San Augustine Church?
Oh, okay. I've heard about this church.
Okay.
It is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Church. It has a lot of murals and it has a lot of embellishments on the ceiling, and chandeliers here are made of crystal, and it looks like a very beautiful place, guys. It's so beautiful. And this is the altar. Looks so beautiful. Just look at this gate, so ornate and intricate, from 1866. Wow, just look at this. This is so gorgeous. If you see here, guys, behind me, there are some not the dragons, I think they're the snow leopards or something. For example, this one. You see it in the Chinese culture. We've seen it everywhere in Chinatown and in other Chinatowns around the world, like in Malacca.
Does it have a ball in the mouth? No.
It's so interesting. Like the leopard. This is the leopard, right?
Lion.
The
Snow
lion.
lion.
Snow lion, sorry. In front of the church. In front of a saint, of a statue of a saint.
Okay.
What is going on?
Interesting. I don't know, Gigi. We are somewhere we never been before.
This is fantastic. How you can see the blend of religions here is incredible. Like, you don't see, these are not gargoyles or something you see in Europe, right? These are lions, snow lions from Chinese, Tao or Buddhism religions in front of a Catholic church.
And now, on the other side of the cathedral, sort of, kind of, you have this massive area, which is the Fort Santiago. And Fort Santiago is built during the Spanish times, and it's massive. It has dungeons, it has parks, it has gardens, it has walls, and it has a lot of interesting areas ready to be explored. Yes, and this is the most popular place to visit in Intramuros, and entrance fee is around 75 per person, if I remember correctly. This whole Intramuros area is basically a huge fort kind of a way, and it's surrounded by various towers in the corner of the place. It's like a huge area with a square in the middle, the Roman square, or Plaza Romana, as we showed you before. And there's a lot of interesting historical buildings scattered throughout Intramuros. And we're right now in Fort Santiago, which is in one of the corners of this big, I would say, fortress, citadel, walled city. And around its walls you have all sorts of towers and big and imposing walls. And one of them right now is used as a golf club because why not? And right now we are crossing a moat. Gigi.
Moat?
Yes, we're crossing a moat over there to go inside the fort through that massive gate. So we have a moat, we have a fort, and we have everything possible here in the Philippines, in Manila. Okay. I would have never thought I would find the moat, and behind the moat are high-rise buildings.
What is going on? I'm super confused right now. It's so beautiful that I cannot decide where do I like it most, in the super modern part of Manila or here in the old historical Spanish fortress.
I mean, I think I like it more in the old Spanish fortress and in the old part of Manila, which you saw in our previous video. That was raw Manila as it gets. The new and modern looking one is also nice. It's very beautiful, it's very modern, but somehow the heart and the beating soul of the people lies here. You come to the fort to learn the history of the place, and you go to the center of Manila to know the people. Plaza de Armas.
Wow, guys, this is so beautiful. Ruins. I love ruins. Yeah, no. It's very luxurious, kind of what I've seen in the old movies about forts and wars and things going on here in the area. It is exactly how I imagined it would be like. Beautiful. I mean, great job, Philippines, for restoring and preserving this very beautiful fort and very important piece of history of your country. Really nice job. I'm super impressed. I mean, how cannot you be impressed? Like here you have the old historical 400 years, 4 centuries old architecture and history, and you imagine how many souls were living here and how many things were going on here. And now
let's go inside there, Gigi. There is a shrine.
Oh, shrine of Jose Rizal, the national hero martyr of Jose Rizal.
So we just went inside the museum, and this museum is dedicated to Jose Rizal, who is considered the most famous and most important national hero of the Philippines. This guy, he was an interesting character. He used to be a writer and a philosopher and a poet and an architect and a cartoonist and everything. He basically was a smart guy, and he traveled throughout Europe and the world, all while writing his teachings and while writing his biography and while writing his story. And he's very famous in the Philippines because, based on his writings, somehow he incited the people to rebel against the Spaniards. Even though this was never actually proven, they still captured him, imprisoned him, and executed him. So, because of that, he became a national hero, and people around here venerate him kind of like a god. They put his image on stamps, they put his image on money, they name their children after him, they name their businesses after him. So he is a very important figure in the lives of the Filipinos. And if you want to learn more about his life and about his last couple of days here in the fort, you can come in the museum and visit it, since it's entrance free. And now, Gigi, we arrived at the end of the fort, literally on top of the wall, and behind us, as you can see, is Chinatown.
Yeah, back in the day it was supposed to be the modern side of Manila. So from the old fort, 300 years old, 400 years old, you would see the modern Manila separated by the Pasay River.
Okay, that's so cool. We talked about this in our Chinatown video.
Yes.
That's so nice. Somehow everything here in the Philippines and in Manila intertwines with each other.
True.
Historical and new and foreign and Spanish and Chinese and American, and everything mixed up into one city.
And I want to say something like I see a resemblance between Romania and Philippines in the fact that Philippines fought for its independence, and they have national heroes, as we did as well, for our independence and revolution back like 30 something years ago. So that means that if Philippines did it and Romania also did it, that makes us like similar somehow. I don't know, it's very, very nice.
Yes, Filipino people are very resilient and very, I don't know, they have a passion in their heart, and that kind of shows.
Yes.
That kind of shows also daily on the street, and whenever we are talking with Filipino guys, they are the nicest ever and the most heartwarming and the most, I don't know, open people that we've seen so far in Southeast Asia.
True, that is very true.
Okay, that being said, I think it's time to end the video. This is a perfect spot. So thank you so much for watching our video.
We loved Intramuros, and it definitely made us realize there's a connection between our countries.
Yes, and the area is magnificent. It kind of brought us back through time, and now we're back in the present, and it's time to go. So see you in the next one, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, please.
All the love from you to us and from us to you. Bye-bye.